Are you ready for some new koalas out of the blue? Are you concerned about the future of koalas in Australia? Well, in today's video, we get a great glimpse of true hope as we meet two new koalas who have come along to Koala Gardens. They are a gorgeous mum and Joey pair. I'm Katrina from Koala Gardens, and I'm so excited to get to watch this live with quite a few of you here as a premiere. So welcome if you're watching this live with me and we get to talk in the YouTube chat while we watch together. And just as big a welcome to you if you're watching this afterwards in your own time, because we can't all be here at the same time, of course. Now, there's a bit of a story behind this beautiful mum and Joey pair who arrived. As I said, it seemed so much out of the blue, because even though koalas do arrive here on the property at any time, it's not so common to have a mum arrive with such a big Joey that's nearly independent from her. So it was quite a surprise. Would you like to come on over and join me on Patreon? It's a great way to become a really close part of what I'm doing and help me do even more for the koalas and be able to bring even more koala content to you. One of the great perks of becoming a patron is that you get an exclusive monthly update every month, and you get to know the layout of the property quite well, and you get to know which parts of the property the different koalas use quite well. And I'm going to give you just a little snippet preview here of one of the things you get each month, which is you get a representation of each of the koalas moving around the property every month. Now, I'm just showing you a little cut down piece of one of those sections from a month earlier this year, and I do have it sped up. And normally when you're watching this on an exclusive Patreon video, while you're watching them move about the property during the month, I also talk about things that were happening for each of those particular koalas during the month. And when we get to the end of that month, you end up with a complete picture of the entire property and all of the movements. And as you view that month after month after month, you really start to get to see a very clear picture of the way koalas truly are territorial and the patterns of movement. And when we can see when a koala is suddenly moving in a different pattern this month, or whether they are moving in the expected pattern. It is a part of the Patreon package that I get a lot of feedback on, that people really love getting to watch how their koalas move about the property, and gives them a much clearer picture of what they've been seeing going on in other social media. There's a link in the description below. I'd love you to become part of the family. And I want to acknowledge the Widjabul Waiable people of the Bundjalung Nation, on whose land I'm so proud to live, work and play. Now let's get a really good look at these beautiful two new koalas. Look at how pretty that mama is. One of the very first things I noticed was that they weren't even sitting together in the same part of a tree. And a lot of the days that I see them, they're not even in the same tree at all. We can see there that the younger koala, Janice, is quite a bit smaller than the mum, whose name is Bonnie. And yet I would take a guess and say that at the time of filming this, which was in early November, Janice was around 12 months old, which is pretty close to the age that we can expect a mum and their joey might completely separate from each other. There are certain things that dictate why and when a mum separates from her joey. And it's a combination of things. So it means that some joeys stay with mum longer than others and for various reasons. I wonder if you know how many reasons there are that can affect and influence when a mum separates from her joey. Just look at these two. You can see they're in a huge forest red gum tree, not too far away from the house, but they are quite a distance from each other in that tree. This time they're in a tree not far away from that forest red gum, but they are now in a pink bloodwood tree. You can get a bit of an idea there how hard it can be sometimes to be koala spotting, and it was really Janice who caught my eye and alerted me that they were there. Now I'm going to digress, and I want to talk about Wendy from Vision Walks Eco Tours, who brings tours to the property here, because Wendy has won not one, not two, not three, not even four, but 5 awards this year. And we're having a look at the moment at the Tourism New South Wales website, where we can see Wendy has won 2 awards this year. And you might wonder, okay, that's fantastic because she does ecotourism. But how do Wendy's winning awards fit in to our video about 2 new koalas, Bonnie and Janice? Well, it's a funny story, so I'm glad you asked that one. On the very first day that Bonnie and Janice were here, Wendy brought a tour along with her, and we absolutely marvelled at just how beautiful the 2 of these koalas were. And we discussed the fact that it was strange to see a mum arrive with a new joey and how they had literally arrived out of the blue. Wendy had also just found out that she had just won her 5th award, and we were so excited because that is a huge agreement to win 5 different awards for what you've been doing in a year, particularly in a small area like this, because there's lots of tourism competition. Wendy is one of the high-level patrons of the property, as well as the fact that she brings people here and we do so many great things together for koalas and the environment. And so I thought, I would really love to give Wendy an extra patron perk and ask her if she would like to choose the names for these 2 koalas, and Wendy was thrilled. Wendy immediately thought of going back to that out of the blue idea and suggested that we could name these 2 koalas after some great blues singers. And so, very quickly, Wendy had come up with the name Bonnie for the mum. Bonnie Raitt is one of my all-time favourite blues singers, so I was thrilled. Then we decided, because we didn't know the gender of Joey, that we had to find a blues singer that had a gender-neutral name. And, of course, Wendy did it. She came up with Janice. Janis can be used to name either a girl or a boy, and what better blues singer from the past could we be thinking of than Janis Joplin? To celebrate these wonderful awards that Wendy has won, a bunch of us that are involved with her business treated ourselves, well actually Wendy treated us, to some time at a beautiful eco resort where we had some spa time, we had dinner, we had lots of great food actually, good drinks, good laughs, and was a great time. We made sure that we also got some photo opportunities to put some of these key people that are behind Wendy forming such a fantastic business that alerts people as to why our environment and our beautiful wildlife are so important. That's Tom over on the right, who brings a lot of the tours out to my place during the week. And of course, the fantastic Wendy. She really is number one. Now let's get back to having a good look at Bonnie and Janice now that we know a little bit about how all of this came to be. I am just loving the fact that they've come. Now, at first, I also wasn't sure if they were going to hang around because they were here for 4 days, staying in a particular area, and then suddenly they were gone. And I thought, okay, my first impression was there's two main things that could be happening. Bonnie might be bringing this bigger Joey through, looking for the right spot to separate and from Joey and leave Joey. And I'm thinking, well, Koala Gardens would be the perfect place to choose Bonnie. My second thought was that Bonnie might be getting close to being ready to separate from Joey and might be looking for a different male to mate with this year than she mated with last year. But like I say, suddenly they were gone after 4 days, and I thought either she decided for some reason this isn't the place to leave Janice, or she decided that she hasn't found the right male yet. But lo and behold, they returned again. I was actually just reaching the point of thinking, ah, I guess they're gone, not going to see them again, because it was 1 day short of being 2 weeks before they came back again. And there they were in the same area of trees as I had seen them the first 4 days. And I was like, whoa, double out of the blue. I wonder where they've been for nearly 2 weeks and why they've come back. I mean, obviously, the reason they've come back is because Koala Gardens is the best place to be, and it just took them a little bit of searching to figure that out. This time they stayed for a week. And just as I was starting to think, oh, okay, they're here for good, they disappeared again. But they only disappeared for 5 days this time. So obviously, wherever they went, Bonnie has started to decide, you know what, I really think I have found the best place. This time they've been back for a whole week, and they're not just staying in the same area. They're actually moving about a little bit through parts of the property. Bonnie even spent 2 days in Bullet's tree just outside the kitchen window while leaving Janice down in this area that we're looking at now, which on the map is area 2. I'm hoping it means that Bonnie is going to either leave Janice here or maybe they'll stay. It could be that Bonnie found a mate and she is in the early part of the pregnancy and she's wanting to just hang around somewhere that she feels a bit safe. Or it could even be that she had mated not long before they first came here and she has now given birth and she just wants to hang around somewhere safe while that little pinky is in that first week or two, the really critical time when they're first in the pouch. So only time is going to tell, but as of today, the day I've recorded this, they are still here on the property, and what a delight they are. If we keep watching, so far the camera's been just sitting still and Janice and Bonnie have just been asleep while I've been talking on to you about all of that interesting koala stuff. However, we're going to see some great behaviour soon because Janice is going to wake up and we get to see a little bit of insight about Mother and Joey behaviour when there are no humans around watching. Because I've actually left the camera on the tripod and returned to the house. So they are truly just alone doing their wild koala things. You can see now that Janice is awake, looking around a little bit, having a bit of a scratch. So let's watch and see just what goes on between the two of them here. Here we go. Janice says, I think it's time to go down and check Mum out. Our koala Joey's just like babies of anything, climbs down and just basically sits on Mum's head, expecting Mum to move out of the way and let Joey through. Kids of all kinds are like that. Now, can you tell what Joey's trying to do? Did you understand what happened then? Mum said, no, go away. And Joey says, oh, go on, let me. So Joey is trying to get a drink out of Mum's pouch. And Bonnie is trying to say, honestly, no, you're too big, you don't need it, grow up a bit. And Janice says, oh, come on, Mum. And climbs up a bit higher going, no, Mum's no fun anymore. I love this behaviour. So Bonnie was able to push Janice off without being, too forceful about it. Janice got the hint, climbed up the tree, but in true fashion of any young animal or even any young human child, Janice is going to have a bit of a think about whether it really is time to give up on this idea or not. You can almost hear it ticking over in Janice's head, can't you? Looks like Mum's gone back to sleep. Maybe, maybe she won't notice if I sneak down really slow and be really nice. Maybe she'll let me have another drink. No, maybe it's not going to work. It makes me wonder, what did Bonnie whisper into Janice's ear, do you think? Did Bonnie whisper? I'm telling you, 1, 2. Notice Janice obviously is a little hungry because Janice has climbed up and then reached out, had a bit of a sniff, a bit of a nibble maybe at a couple of leaves and things. No, I really want to have a drink, Mum. So the next strategy is pretend that no, it's okay. I'm going past. I'm going down there, and go down lower than Mum, thinking now maybe I can just sneak up a little bit and I'll make it. So close, it's time to. Janice has nearly managed to push the head between Mum and the branch, but no, Bonnie obviously knows how to cope with all of these tricks and yet still stay mostly asleep. Janice tries to wriggle in once more, and it's just not working. So Janice almost seems to have disappeared, but Janice has moved around. Did you see Janice's bum there underneath Mum? Maybe I could, reach from another angle, but Bonnie's just too good for this one. I have no idea how old Bonnie is, so I don't know if this is Bonnie's first Joey or not, but regardless of that, Bonnie's pretty wise to the kinds of tricks that a Joey might come up with when it's time to wean. So Janice has pretty much given up and is settling for a bit of a cuddle by sitting behind Bonnie. Now, if you don't have a big screen, it's really hard to see Janice behind Bonnie there, but that's where Janice is. And when Janice starts to move in a minute, you'll see as Janice comes out of that spot behind Bonnie's back. And here we go. It's almost like magic when you can't see a koala in a tree and they start moving, and it's like they had an invisibility cloak on, and they're slowly like pulling that invisibility cloak off, and ta-da! Koala appears in the tree. And that's pretty much what Janice is doing. You can just see that movement starting, and Janice goes, nothing's working. Mum's just not giving in to my persistence and giving me a drink. It's not fair. So I'll just kind of sit on Mum's head and shoulders, have a bit of a scratch to let Mum know that I'm not very happy about the way I'm being treated here. The more time that I'm getting to observe Bonnie and Janice, the more convinced I'm becoming that Bonnie may have actually been looking for a mate. Now, I do have some more video to come up this month where you'll see Bonnie gets to meet another member of the koala colony, and I don't know if that has been a successful meeting or not, but it's interesting that Bonnie is back, and I'm certainly going to be keeping that in mind and doing the math later on if Bonnie hangs around and we get to see another Joey come out of the pouch next year. Are you any good at doing math? If Bonnie has given birth to another Joey during December, when do you think that Joey would be emerging from the pouch? When might we expect to see that new Joey? It's pretty easy math, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. Usually my patrons all put forward names for new Joeys, and then we poll them and send the top 3 names over to Facebook, Instagram, and here to YouTube for people to vote on the names of. But my super patron and fantastic award-winning, beautiful business person in the area, working so hard to help people think about the environment and why it's worth saving it, Wendy from Vision Walks Eco Tours got to name this beautiful pair, and I'm so proud to be associated with Wendy. And you know what? You've done it. You've made it to the end of another Koala Gardens video. So would you take a moment to write in the comments below, Bonnie and Janice, out of the blue. Thanks so much for watching. There is more great video coming up in the coming months. And I want to give a special thanks to all of you who have been here live to watch this premiere and chat away in the YouTube chat with me. I think it's been a great way of getting some real interest and engagement, because I get to know some of you better as I watch these videos with you. If you're looking for gifts, head on over to my Redbubble store. There's some beautiful new designs up there, lots of great merchandise, and they're all sustainably created and sent out to people. So I love supporting Redbubble. There's a link below if you're interested in becoming a patron, or maybe doing an In the Loop adoption where you get a monthly e-bulletin by email. Whatever works best for you. I love having whatever support you're able to give, because it really helps me help koalas.